Hi, second graders. It's Mrs. Jansen. We are now going to be working on our second part of our Native American inspired pendants and bead necklace. Last time we worked on our pendants, I made a turtle. Now, as you can see, my turtle still is very dark. The clay is, and it's still very wet. I'm waiting for that to completely dry, and then we'll put it in the kiln. While we wait for our clay to dry, you'll be sending your pendant back to school so we can put it in the kiln at school. The next thing that we are going to do is be working on some beads. Now, my goal for you is to have at least, so like 27 beads. You want quite a few beads, and they're going to be all different shapes. Last time we talked about beads that are round, beads that are oval, beads that are barrels. So we're going to take our clay today, and so let's quick talk about the supplies you're going to need. You're going to need your clay. You're going to want to have a surface like a plastic or paper plate to work on. You're probably going to want that butter knife again, or a plastic knife. You're going to want your toothpicks. And again, I've got my skewer. If you have a popsicle stick, that would work well as well. So remember how we talked about how we like our clay all in one big clump? When you're not using it, you want it clumped together so it doesn't dry out very fast. I've pinched a small section of it. I'm going to be rolling that in my hand. I'm going to just show you all the different shapes that you can make your beads. So this is a nice oval shape. I'm just going to kind of smooth that out a little bit more. This is where I think my skewer kind of comes in handy. I'm going to take and I'm going to stick that into that center point of my oval bead, and you can see I've got it on here. I'm actually going to kind of roll it out a little bit more. And we've got that in here. So you can see I've got a big hole through it, but it also is really rough. I'm going to dip my fingers in the water and I'm smoothing that out. This side, you can see it's nice and big, so it'll be easy to string. So this is a really big bead. It's kind of an oval, almost barrel-like bead. The next thing I'll probably do is I'm going to kind of rotate it. I want to put a little bit of texture and design on it. Because I smooth this out with a great deal of water, maybe a little too much, it's going to want to slip on me here. But I'm going to use my toothpick to put texture of a line. And then I think I might put some little dots in there so you can see how I'm adding just a little bit. Also use my toothpick on the side and make that line a little bit thicker, like that. Okay. Then I'm just going to set it down. And I'm going to pinch off another piece of clay. You do not need to make all your beads that big, but you probably want some of them to be that big. Because you'll be stringing up your clay and it'll go up on both sides, you might want 2 of every kind of bead. So I might make another barrel bead that looks like that. Okay, so this one I've kind of rolled out more into a sphere or a circle. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to pinch it down so it stays like a sphere. This is a smaller bead, so I'm going to use my toothpick to put a hole in it. I'm going to press that down, wiggle that around, and again smooth out the edges, and you can see I've got a nice little round bead with a hole in it. I'm going to hold the 2 ends with the hole And I'm just going to put you always, whenever you do that, you always want to just check your hole, stick your toothpick through it again, smooth it out, because you don't want that hole to get blocked. So now I've got 2 beads. I'm going to pinch off some more, and you're just going to keep doing this. I'm going to make this another one to kind of match my first oval. I will stick the skewer through it. I'm going to get my hands a little wet and smooth it out. Take it off, smooth off the edges, make sure the hole goes all the way through. Set that down and keep making them. So you're going to spend the rest of your day making, of your art time, making these clay beads. You can make them round, you can make them tubular like we talked about last time. You can make them oval. You always just want to make sure that they have a hole in it. You want to smooth it out with water or a little bit of slip. You can use your tools to mark them with different textures. And when you do that, just be careful to check the holes that you put in them one more time. And there we go. There's another bead. So we got that there. Okay. So if you have any questions about this process, or how to get your clay to behave or anything, please, you can post questions on Seesaw. That would be fantastic. And I will try to get back to you and answer any questions that you might have. So have fun. I would say make at least 20 beads. I think you're going to want, in case some of them break or do things that you end up wanting to have more beads. So just do a couple extra. And I'll just put the lines on there. And there we go. You can see the little holes. Now this hole I'm going to clean up a little bit. There we go. And we'll set that down. And I already have 5 beads. So have fun. Keep making beads. Use up all your clay. Make a lot of beads. And yeah. Okay, second graders. When you are done with both of these lessons, last week's and this week's, you should have a paper plate or a plastic plate with your clay pendant that has an animal or a face on it, and you should have a bunch of beads that you've made out of the rest of your clay. And so you can see all the different texture and designs I put on the beads. You should have that as well. You need to have your initials on the back of your pendant. This plate you can put in like a plastic bag that's loose. Send it back to school because this is going to dry in the kiln room, Mr. Warner's kiln room, and we are going to fire it in the kiln, which is that oven that gets really hot. This leftover clay that you made into slip, you can scoop that out and just throw it away. We're not going to collect that back. So, like I said, you want to have your beads and your pendant finished, and you want to send them back to school and put them, and I would even say, why don't you put your name on the plate? And you could do that with a Sharpie if you have a plastic one. And that way we'll just keep all of your things on your plate. All right? So if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great week.